Good morning. Welcome to Winnipeg. It is HMS Rodney Day. And I'd like to be able to say it is Bismarck Shirt Day. Jeff, I gotta apologize again. Yesterday I thought when I was noticing that it was your cup, I thought, I gotta remember to put on the Bismarck shirt. This morning I get up and I guess I wasn't thinking about what I was doing and I stuck back on the Bill's Honda shirt. Okay. Now speaking of Bill's Honda, here's the latest. It looks really good that I'm going to be upgrading next spring to the Goldwing. It looks really good. And the latest is that Bill's Honda is going to come in, pick up my Rebel sometime this fall. The idea was that I'd be able to ride it as long as I could before the snow came, but I'm starting to think now that it might be a good idea to get it out of here before the snow comes. Which means I'm going to be back on my e-bike. But that's all right. It's all right. It's fun too. It's just not as thrilling as the Rebel. No. Anyway, yeah, and he's gonna come in and pick it up. Take it back to the dealership there, and I guess they'll have all winter to get it ready for sale for next spring because nobody's going to buy a motorcycle in the fall, except maybe me. And then my new bike will just stay in the crate. And I had no idea the amount of work that had to be done to get one of those things ready to sell. Like when Honda ships it in, they ship it in a crate. I thought basically all you had to do is just, in this case, just fold the mirrors out and put the key in it and you're ready to go. But no, there's an awful lot of, I guess you call it cladding, that has to be fastened onto the sides of it to make it look nice. Yeah, okay, enough about that. So I just wanted to let you know that's the latest on Bill's cycle. Yeah, I should have wore the other shirt and then I wouldn't have gone through all this. Yeah, I'm telling you more than you need to know. Okay, I know that I'm going to get a comment, for sure I'm going to get a comment. Ron, that bike's way too big for you. Well, you know what? You might be right, because I still remember my first day trying to ride the Rebel. I took it around the block, and I think I mentioned it. I pulled her back in here on the patio, and I wanted to get off, and I wanted to go and crawl under my bed and cry because I thought I can't ride this thing. Well, it's sort of a progression thing. I remember before I got my e-bike, I talked to somebody who had a couple of them, and it's somebody I know really, really well. And he says to me, I would not recommend it for an older person. And that's all he said. He never said anything about, you're too old for an e-bike. Well, it went from an e-bike to a little scooter to the Rebel, and now hopefully the Goldwing. We'll see what happens. I'm going to do my best. I want to stay as young as long as I can. Now, I'd like to stay alive as long as I can, too. Okay, now, back to the model bench here. Got a comment from 2 or 3 people that were talking about the tweezers. If you remember, I was trying to adjust tweezers yesterday. And Francis made a comment, something that got me thinking about, why don't I modify the tweezers so that they work better? Because after a while, I realized what was going on. Remember, I was trying to grab hold of that little shaft and it kept pinging out. Well, I think I'm going to stick the macro lens on, and we're going to get a pair of tweezers here. I have a whole bunch of cheap tweezers. I get several that are kind of wide like this, and I think they can be modified and then ground down to be pointy just exactly right. We're going to use Chris's precision files here. Okay, one like this. We'll be getting the macro lens on. You'll be able to see exactly what I got in mind. I think it's going to work out really, really well. Yeah, these files, they're bordering on being watchmaker quality. I'm amazed at how good these are. They're so much better than the set I bought from Amazon, my first set. So, yeah, this one maybe isn't the best one to use. I want one that's perfectly square, and this is triangular. It'd sort of do it, but not quite. Anyway, enough about that. Let's recompose here and try and get a pair of tweezers adjusted, and then we're, you know what, I know people are thinking, Ron, you just don't want to have to start spraying that part. And you're killing time here until it gets to the end of the day and saying, well, it's too late now. You're probably right. Okay, let's recompose here. Okay, here is that triangular one that I was talking about. Let me move in just a little bit here. Now this is a square one. We won't be using the triangular one. We'll probably be using the square one. And then I found that there was a round one in that set. And the round one actually might work as long as I don't do my grinding way up here where the radius is large. Do the grinding, or the whatever, filing, I guess you call it, down here on the tip where the radius is small. And I'm going to have to hold this in some sort of a jig just right, because I want to get the angle just right. Maybe I'll just use my vise. I'll just use my vise on the model table here. Okay, well, let's get the macro lens on as I promised, and move right in, and you'll see what it is I've got in mind. Okay, I know that somebody's going to be saying, that doesn't look like you're using the macro lens. In fact, I can see it hiding over there behind the paint stirrer. Okay, now let's get this so that the edges are, you might say, perpendicular. In other words, this file is going to be 45 degrees at an angle to the world. Now, can I get this in here? Maybe I'm going to have to do it like this. This vise, it looks good, but the machining is so crude. Okay, I think that's going to hold in place there. Okay, now the macro lens, and we're going to be looking in right here. Okay, now just for perspective here, just so that you can get an idea of how small we're dealing with. And the idea is to try and put a groove, whoops, on the inside of this tweezer, so that when I grab onto something lengthways, okay, so I think that this thing will probably grind best going in this direction. But once I get it started and get, you might say, a little bit of a channel going on, then maybe we can switch to the round file. There must be a power tool down in my workshop that'll do this. I can feel it starting now. It's going much easier. Whoops, don't get it out of the groove. I'm looking straight down on it, trying to keep everything centered. Now, I want the grooving to be done on the end here, not back here. So I'm wondering if maybe I shouldn't. Let's have a little look there. Yeah, you can see it starting. It's grooving in the right place. Yeah. Isn't there a song about groovy? Yeah, when I was a teenager, the term groovy. Gee, that's groovy. It was so common back then. Okay, I'm wondering if maybe I could just leave well enough alone and just, well, let's put the round one in and see if we can make it a little bit rounded. I was looking at the round one under the microscope a little while ago, and it's pretty sharp on the end. Okay, I was noticing that Missy the dog has just gone out for her constitutional. Okay, so I better be vigilant here. Good morning. I like your Halloween costume. It looks just like a dog. I thought you were going to come as a cat. Let me sit down. Let me sit down. Wait. Okay. That's the dog bone.
The reject pile.
The reject pile, yeah. She's saving that for dessert. So how are you this morning, Max?
Good.
Good.
Oh, that was a long, stressful drive yesterday.
Yeah, well, if you've never been there before, I can well imagine. Winnipeg's not a small city anymore. When I first moved here, it's twice as big as when I first moved here. Oh, Missy, I'm gonna have to show you a picture. Yeah, of Jordan, Colorado Jordan. Got a picture of Jeff Donahue sent a picture of his dog watching Missy. At least when he was watching Missy. And
Did you give you a picture of what Missy is like, screaming her head off when she's watching you on the screen holding that black dog? Doesn't realize it's herself. Oh, she just goes nuts.
Yeah. I've been in Colorado once for sure, because I remember around 1957 we went through Denver. But I don't know if I've been in Colorado since then.
It's a beautiful state.
Yeah, Denver's got a fairly high elevation, if I remember right.
I think it's almost 10,000 feet, isn't it?
I don't think it's that high. 5,000 for sure.
So what time did you say the Halloween kids come?
Usually they start about 6 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
And
they go through until?
I turn the lights off at 8.
6 to 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I gotta work Missy's nap around that somehow. She cannot be up when the kids come to the door. She'd just go crazy.
yeah, either that or she has to stay locked in her kennel, and she's not going to be too happy about that.
Well, she will be in her kennel. The thing is, putting her when she's sleepy enough to sleep through them, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Keeping her up until 6. She won't like that. She's on the schedule. She'll be stomping around and saying, I should be napping right now.
You're a good girl. Yeah. Okay, we're rolling. You're gonna come and say goodbye, are you? Hey, you gonna come and say goodbye? You're such a good dog. See you at Halloween.
See you later today.
All right.
Bye, Missy. Goodbye, Uncle Ron.
And what do we say? Missy the dog. Missy the dog. Okay. Now, back to this. Okay, you can see we've created a bit of a groove there. Not very precise, but it's basically centered, and that's the main thing. Now, I don't want to be going too far up here because, as I mentioned, the radius up here is getting too big. It would still work, but if I can keep everything down here, let's see, maybe I'll just put a little bit of pressure on it, and we are going to just go in and out. I'm not holding my angles right here. I guess it doesn't matter if we tilt it at an angle like this. I should have thought of that, and then you can sort of see. Yeah, because it's just as round this way as it is this way. Problem is, I'm not looking straight down on it anymore. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, just wipe it out a little bit first. Okay, I think this is gonna be good. And I think now what I'm going to do is I'm going to narrow this. I'm just going to, file it down a little bit. Although that might not be a good idea. Just trying to think here. Maybe we should do a bit of a dry run and try and use it to pick up something that's like a little shaft. I mean, that's the whole idea of this, isn't it? Okay, it can be made to ping off, but I was putting a fair amount of pressure on it there. Okay, my idea worked, so I'm kind of happy about that. Okay, I thought I'd better mark these because they kind of look a little bit like all the others. So we got a little piece of red tape on here, that should do the trick. Now, I'm going to call it quits for this afternoon. The sun is shining. I want to get out on my bike and have a quick scoot. Halloween is this evening. I want to get out and rake my leaves and make the front entrance a little bit safer for the kids. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we're going to see you tomorrow.